So still looking at building two good carburetors. Um, hit a bit of an interesting point on the lifting pins. These carburetors, like most SUs, have a lifting pin here in this case. If you can see that, that just lifts the main piston. As you tune the carburetors, you lift it slightly, and depending on which way the revs go, it's either too rich or too lean. But interestingly, this carburetor has got this style of pin on with the spring on the outside, and there's a circlip at the bottom, and there's actually a circlip at the top as well. But it seems that that is an old style. This is the one that was actually on my car when I bought it. Just looking here, for example, this diagram shows the lifting pin with a spring at the bottom, circlip, and a circlip at the top. So obviously got that on that carburetor. This carburetor, on the other hand, has got I think the later type of pin. There's no spring on the outside. The spring is actually inside the casting here. But again, that lifts up in the same way and lifts the piston, of course. So yeah, so that's kind of interesting. Taking these apart, that's the way they are arranged. So there's a pin which seems to have a brass end, but this looks to be plated, and a spring. So that goes up underneath the carburetor. And then at the top end, there's a washer, brass washer, and a steel circlip, which go on from the other side, of course. The interesting thing also is that some of them have the remains of a washer, and this one has got some kind of black rubbery material on this side, but it's so badly degraded, it's obviously not doing any good. That's actually listed as a seal on the later versions, and Berlin have those as stock. So this one was the same. In this case, the rubber was even worse, and it was doubtful whether there was actually any rubber there at all, whether it was just sort of grime and accumulated mud. Next diagram show the full assembly with the pin, the spring, rubber washer, metal washer, and then the circlip. That seems to be the latest configuration. And again, in this case, there's the pin, the spring, and the circlip. No sign of a washer and a rubber seal. Yeah, so if we look at this one, for instance, it just shows the pin number 2, the spring number 3, and the circlip number 4. So there's no seal, and not even a washer in that case. So it looks as if the spring and the washer and the seal were added at a later time. But again, on this later version, there's the pin with a spring on it, sealing washer, metal washer, and circlip. So that seems to be the preferred arrangement. Obviously, you want a seal on it to stop a vacuum leak into the underside of the piston. So I assume that was added to improve the seal. So I'm going to pick the best bits I've got in terms of the pin, the springs, the washer, and given that all the washers I've got either don't exist or are so badly degraded that they're useless, I've managed to get some replacements from Berlin. So it comes up as ACU 4943 sealing washer, and yeah, those are quite thick actually, and I assume they're a good fit on the pin, and as they crush below the washer, the metal washer, they form a good seal between the pin and the carburetor body. So I'll go through all these and pick out the best ones and assemble them in the carburetors I'm going to use. Thanks for watching.